Piero. When people hear that name, they think of elegance, class, and that unforgettable tenor voice that has moved millions around the world. They picture him on stage, confident, charming, delivering notes that make the audience hold their breath. But what happens when all of that disappears? What happens when the lights dim, when the applause fades, and when there are no microphones or cameras? Who is Piero when he's just himself, without the tuxedo, the audience, or the fame? That's what we're talking about today, because the truth is, the person you see on stage is only a small piece of who Piero really is. Behind all the success, the interviews, and the worldwide recognition, there's a man who values simplicity more than attention, who seeks peace more than fame, and who lives with a quiet humility that surprises everyone who meets him. Piero at home. The simplicity behind the star. When Piero returns home to Sicily, everything changes. The world knows him as an international star, but in his hometown, he's just Piero, the same guy his friends grew up with. There's something deeply beautiful about the way he reconnects with his roots. No cameras, no red carpets, just familiar faces, family meals, and laughter that fills the room. He doesn't come home expecting anyone to treat him like a celebrity. In fact, he avoids it. He helps set the table, plays with the younger kids, and spends hours talking to his parents. He'll sit quietly on the porch with his father, sipping coffee, looking at the Sicilian hills. That's the side of him that fans don't see. The grounded, reflective man who finds joy in the simplest things. He often says that his home keeps him human. It reminds him that fame is temporary, but family and love are forever. He's not one to chase luxury or indulgence. You won't find him showing off cars or designer collections. Piero's true comfort lies in connection, not possessions. When the spotlight fades. When the spotlight fades, most artists struggle with silence, but Piero welcomes it. He believes that silence is not emptiness. It's space to think, to breathe, to grow. That's why, after a long concert tour, he doesn't rush to parties or events. Instead, he retreats, sometimes to his hometown, other times to quiet places where he can be alone with his thoughts. It's easy to think of fame as something glamorous, but Piero knows it's also heavy. The pressure to stay perfect, to always smile, to always be strong, that can wear anyone down. But he's learned the secret of balance, to separate the performer from the person. When the cameras are off, he doesn't have to perform. He doesn't have to pretend. He gets to be real. The real friend behind the fame. Among his closest friends, Piero is known as the steady one, the one who listens more than he speaks. He's the kind of friend who doesn't need to fill silence with noise. When you talk to him, he really listens. Not halfway, not distracted. He's fully present. And that's rare, especially for someone who lives under constant attention. His friends often say that he never acts superior. Whether he's in a small cafe or a crowded airport, Piero treats everyone with the same respect. He knows fame is fleeting, but kindness leaves a mark that lasts forever. And then there's his playful side. Fans see him as serious and sophisticated, but when he's with Ignazio and Gianluca, he's the complete opposite. He laughs, he teases, and he becomes that mischievous friend who loves to create inside jokes. The discipline never stops now. Here's something people might not expect. Even when he's off camera, Piero doesn't stop training his voice. He's incredibly disciplined. Long after the concert is over, he'll listen to recordings, taking notes on his tone, his phrasing, his breath control. It's not about perfectionism, it's about respect for the art. He believes that music deserves his full effort every single time. Even on days when he's tired, even when no one's watching, he practices. That's who he is. The man who gives 100% not for applause, but for pride in his craft. He often says, If you want to honor music, you have to serve it, not use it. That's how deeply he sees his role as an artist. Piero the thinker. Off stage, Piero spends a lot of time thinking about life, about success, about what truly matters. He loves philosophy and history, often reading books that explore human nature and purpose. He once mentioned that understanding the past helps him stay humble. It reminds him that every great artist, no matter how talented, eventually fades, but their values and the way they treated others never do. When you talk to him, you'll notice how thoughtful he is with his words. He doesn't rush to speak. He pauses, reflects, and then answers. It's not about being cautious. It's about being genuine. He only says what he truly means. The heart that feels everything behind that calm exterior. Piero has a sensitive heart. He feels things deeply, whether it's joy, sadness, or gratitude. When a fan shares a personal story about how his music helped them, he doesn't just smile politely. He carries that moment with him. Sometimes he even tears up in private. That's how much it means to him to make a difference through his voice. But sensitivity also means he feels pain intensely. He worries when someone he cares about is struggling. He might not always express it outwardly, but those emotions stay with him. He's the kind of person who would rather take someone else's pain than cause it. And that's why he's so careful with people. He tries not to judge, not to criticize harshly, and always looks for understanding before reacting. His quiet battles fame doesn't protect anyone from insecurity, and Piero knows that better than most. Even with years of success, he still questions himself sometimes. Am I doing enough? Am I growing? Am I still worthy of the stage? Those thoughts visit him in the quiet hours, late at night when everything else is silent. He uses those doubts as fuel, as motivation to keep improving. That's what makes his performances so emotional. They come from a place of struggle, reflection, and genuine feeling. He once said in an interview, "People think confidence means never doubting yourself. I think confidence means you doubt yourself, but you don't let it stop you." That's the real Piero, humble enough to question, strong enough to move forward anyway. The private Piero. Guarding his peace. In a world obsessed with exposure, Piero is a man who values privacy. He doesn't share every detail of his life online. He believes some things should remain sacred: family moments, personal feelings, and the quiet spaces that keep him balanced. He doesn't chase headlines or try to stay relevant through controversy. He lets his music do the talking, and that privacy is what allows him to stay sane. He's seen how fame can change people, how it can make them lose themselves. But he's determined not to become a product of fame. He wants to stay human, no matter how big the stage gets. When the cameras are off, Piero enjoys moments that most people would overlook, like watching the sunset or listening to the rain while sipping tea. He doesn't need extravagance to feel alive. He's often said that happiness, for him, is peace. Not noise, not spotlight, just peace. Connection with nature and faith. Piero often reconnects with nature. Whether it's walking near the ocean, hiking in the hills, or spending quiet mornings by himself, he finds healing in the natural world. It's in these quiet spaces that he feels closest to something greater, a sense of gratitude, of faith, of wonder. He believes that nature reminds him of life's bigger picture, that fame, applause, and success are small compared to the beauty of existence itself. And yes, faith is a big part of his private life too. It guides him, keeps him grounded, and helps him stay humble. But he doesn't flaunt it. It's personal, intimate, something between him and his heart. The artist who never stops giving. What makes Piero truly special is that his kindness doesn't end when the show does. He takes time for people. Whether it's a fan waiting outside after hours or a crew member behind the scenes, he never forgets to show gratitude. He knows how much teamwork it takes to make one show happen, and he appreciates everyone involved, from the sound engineers to the stage cleaners. That humility comes naturally to him. It's not an act, and that's what fans love about him the most. That even after years of fame, he's still the same warm, respectful, grounded man they fell in love with. The Real Piero. So who is Piero when the cameras are off? He's not a superstar chasing the spotlight. He's not an image built for fame. He's a man who loves music, respects people, and treasures his peace. He's a son who honors his parents, a friend who listens, a thinker who reflects, a dreamer who keeps his feet firmly on the ground. He's not perfect, but he's genuine, and that's far more powerful. When the cameras stop rolling and the world goes quiet, Piero remains the same: calm, kind, thoughtful, and real. That's the version of him that few get to see, but it's also the version that defines him the most. And maybe that's the lesson in all of this. Fame doesn't have to change who you are. You can be admired by millions and still be humble. You can live in the spotlight and still stay human, and that's exactly who Piero is. Not just a star, but a soul. If you've enjoyed this deep look at the real Piero, the man behind the voice, make sure to subscribe to my channel right now. Hit the like button, share this video with other fans, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss another heartfelt story like this one. Because there's always more to discover beyond the spotlight.